Okay, so it turns out I actually do have another idea for the files, which is definitely going to be the strangest one because I'm going to be talking about something that doesn't technically exist. This is just a hypothetical idea, really, but it's pretty much what would have happened if the video game actually had a sequel. Yeah, AceLightning 2. I imagine, much like the first game, which borrowed elements from the first season, the second one would borrow elements from the second season. But okay, so structure-wise, I think it will take place at the Carnival of Doom again, and you will have to collect pieces of the amulet in different worlds. That's in the carnival. Only instead of Lord Fear, it's going to be Kilobyte this time. But yeah, gameplay wise, I just get the feeling it would have been exactly the same as the first game again. Only this time, a new addition would have been flying levels. Like you could actually play as Ace, and this time he would actually fly. This time, I imagine the controls would be just as awkward as the normal controls. I think another additional element would have been the sparks being playable. And I feel like in or when you enter a level, you get the option to play as Ace or Sparks, and even in the only levels you can't really change them is the flying levels. But I feel like Sparks will also have flying levels is flying levels as well. Yeah, I feel like there'll be 5 worlds again, much like the first game, only it won't be a circus, House of Illusions, a cowboy themed world, or a castle themed world, or a haunted house. Nah, I feel like this is just my general ideas for the new 5 worlds, and that is a a haunted school, which I call the Scare School, um, a jungle, the jungle of doom, if you will, and a third one, which is a pyramid, like Egyptian themed, which I call the Pyramid of Illusion, a pirate ship called the Pirate Ship of Fear, and instead of haunted house, it would be the final boss would be in cyberspace. Uh, so yeah, that's how I feel like it would have gone down. I mean, I'm not saying it would have, but I just feel like it would have been 5 different themed worlds from the first game. Um, the real question is the villains. I mean, I I don't think they would have reused the same villains. Well, I feel like they only would have reused Lord Fear and Lady Illusion because they played a key part in season 2. But as for the other villains, I just don't feel like they would have been included because there's really nothing else you can do with them. And I know season 2 upgraded some of them, but they weren't really noticeable upgrades. That's the thing. So yeah, instead of Kilobyte, as I say, Kilobyte would be the main villain, much like how he was in season 2, and he would be the final boss. Um, the only other 2 villains. Okay, so I'm going to explain it like this. The first world of the game is the Scare School, and I'm going to have Rockgut be the villain of that world. I know what you're thinking. What does a cowboy zombie got to do with a school? I don't know. You could say the same thing about Dirty Rat in the first game. What's a mutant rat got to do with cowboys? Because Rockgut was the only other villain introduced in season 2, and I know he's meant to be based on the cowboy enemies that were seen in the game, but I just didn't know what else to include. So yeah, I have Rock Gut be the main villain of the Scare School. It would be like the first game. There would be 3 different sections that you have to complete in order to have a boss fight with him. And I was thinking the boss fight with him, since his special ability was to possess people, I feel like the boss fight against him would be him possessing different enemies that you fought in the world. So since it's a school-based world, there'll be school-based enemies, and you'll go along possessing them, and you just have to figure out which one he's in, and that's it really. Because a pretty basic boss fight. The second world, which is the Jungle of Doom, jungle themed enemies. I'm gonna have Fred the Wasp. I mean, technically, Fred wasn't a video game villain from the in the show, but like I said, there's season 2 didn't really, apart from Kilobyte Rockgut, Fred was the only other villain introduced in season 2. So I'm just using what the show had, and technically in this world it'll be Kilobyte doing all the talking, and but the boss fight will be mainly against Fred, and since Fred was a wasp who could fly, the boss fight will obviously be a flying level. I just feel like, yeah, that just makes sense, and it would just be a typical Fred would just fly straight towards Ace, and Ace has to dodge him, and he might turn around, and Fred might turn around and shoot. I don't know, something at Ace, and Ace just has to dodge him and keep on hitting him, shooting him at the right time when his back is turned. The third world, which is the Pyramid of Illusion, which, yeah, obviously is going to have Lady Illusion as the main enemy. I feel like, much like the show, the cutscenes will be showing Lady Illusion's like moral conflict that she had in that season, and I'm thinking of the boss fight against her will be at the top of the pyramid. There'll be another flying one, but this time it'll be Sparks. I just feel like Sparks needs to have a boss fight, and it'd be similar to a boss fight in the first game, only this time it would be she will like throw those orange flame crystal balls like she had in our like she had in that season. Um, and she will just constantly teleport around platforms while summoning enemies. Like I said, similar to the first game, only with sparks and it's in the sky. But anyway, and yeah, since it's Egyptian themed, the enemies will be like mummies, sphinxes, the type of stuff you would see in Egyptian themed stuff in other games. Um, then the fourth world will be the pirate ship of fear. Sorry, and of course, Lord Fear will be the main enemy of that world. He'll be captain of a pirate ship, and he'll have a skeleton crew of pirates. I guess you can say it's kind of similar to that level in the PS1 game Medieval, when it's on a pirate ship and skeletons, undead pirates, and all that. It will be the same as that. The boss fight against Lord Fear would be another flying fight, only this time it would be against Lord Fear in the Doom wagon, which he gets in season 2. And I just feel like that would be appropriate. So yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know whether to make it a boss fight or a race, but I feel like you know, maybe a mixture of both. Like you have to race Fear first and then have a fight with him. So it'll be similar to the Fred boss fight, really, maybe a bit too similar. But the thing is, these boss fights, much like the first game, they're gonna be basic because I just don't feel like they would have put that much budget or effort in this game as they did with the first one. So saying that the cutscenes will be stylized the exact same, and even the graphics will be exactly the same. Um, but yeah, after the Lord Fear boss fight, there'll be a cutscene where Fear and Ace pretty much team up, much like in the show. And then so you collect all the pieces of the amulet and unlock the final boss, which is against Kilobyte. And instead of a haunted house, it's going to take place in a cyberspace type arena. And all Kilobyte's going to do is going to stand on the platform and start summoning different enemies from different points of the game, and they will start, and Ace will have to defeat them all before Kilobyte will jump down, and he'll use his tentacles to trap Ace in a way to drain him. And the this is where the final boss will take an interesting turn, because you will immediately switch to Lord Fear. Yeah, I actually think Lord Fear being playable in the final boss would be an interesting twist. And you won't be able to do much for him. You can just move him and, shoot those green energy bolts at Kilobyte, and that's all you can do. You can't do anything else with him. But yeah, I feel like that's what Lord Fear would do, and it will constantly switch between Ace and Fear at different points of the boss boss fight, and yeah, that'll be it. And there'll be a cutscene that will play where Kilobyte gets defeated, Lord Fear betrays Ace, tries to kill him, but of course Lady Illusion gets in the way, and it will be similar to how season 2 ended. But yeah, I just feel like that's how a sequel to the AceLightning game would have played out. So I wish I could show you pictures, but I'm talking about something that doesn't actually exist. So this is all I can really use, unfortunately. But I did I did think of one interesting feature that would have made the second game a bit more unique, apart from, of course, Sparks being playable, and that is in certain parts of the game you'll find either discs or a full on computer. If you interact with it, Ace will be taken into a secret area where he has to fight a secret boss, and those secret bosses will actually be the villains from the first game. So you fight Googler, Pigface, Anvil, Dirty Rat. Um, I feel like the boss fights will be similar to their fights from the first game, but there'll be an additional two secret bosses that will make it more unique, and that's going to be Candy Floss and Buzz Beast. As you know, Candy Floss was going to be introduced in season 3, so why not make her a secret boss in the second game as a little teaser for her, And Buzz Beast, he was a scrap character, but just thought it'd be fun to include him as a secret boss in this. So I don't like characters going to waste, so why not use them like that? So that's all I can really say on the matter. Um, if you if you had the chance to make a sequel to the game, what would you do? What would you change? Would it be exactly the same? Would it be an all different type? Would it be a different type of game entirely? You know, it's up to you.